Oh man, it's looking like I might be back here. Guilty Gear Strive Season 4. The patch notes have dropped. Kind of late here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at these. I am a little interested in Season 4, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys saw my reaction to Dizzy's move kit video that just dropped recently, I'm definitely interested. I do like the characters that are in this season. I do like that it seems like there's gonna be a big overhaul, or at least that's what I'm thinking it's gonna be. Is there's gonna be an overhaul for Guilty Gear? I'm moving forward. I didn't really play Season 3 like that, but Dizzy, like I said, this season's DLC looks fire. So I want to take a look and see what's going on with these patch notes, and see what's happening with Guilty Gear. It's been a while since I covered Guilty Gear here on this channel, so let's get right to it and let's talk about some Guilty Gear. Okay, cool. First off, let me get this out the way. So all the general modes, added Dizzy as a playable character, added her new theme. Obviously she had her Xrd and Guilty Gear XX themes being added to the game. Get them from fishing. Sin versus Kai has a new theme. I'm definitely interested in hearing that. Haven't heard that yet. You know, Guilty Gear music's always something cool to listen to. Let's see here. They added a new credits roll footage using the BGM Shelter from the Rain. Okay. All right. It's not available in the gallery mode apparently. There's a lot to be said here. There's a lot that changed already. Yeah, having a whole glossary is kind of crazy. So attack level, this parameter exists for every attack. The higher the attack level, the longer the block's done. Duration, number duration, hit stop last. This level is generally low for jabs such as P and K attacks for a higher. This is standard in Guilty Gear. Repeated move usage proration, SMP. So for those that are watching, a thing in Arc 6 games is called SMP, which is same move proration. This is common in Persona. Like Naoto had a loop with their hop kick. It's called SMP loop. Build a lot of meter. You can kill characters. So this is good. This is good. Adding same move proration. This is good. Wall break direction and situation after off the ground hits. Wall break direction refers to the direction of the blowback when triggering wall break. The direction varies depending on the move used and impacts the damage and blowback when hitting a knockdown opponent off the ground as well. Moves with upwards wall break direction cause significant blowback when hitting off the ground in exchange for dealing lower damage. Moves with downwards wall break direction cause less knockback, less blowback when hitting off the ground. Okay, so moves that OTG and pick up. It's kind of different with how the wall break works. Not too crazy. Defense modifier value. This is the proration value for each character, modifying the opponent's attack power when taking damage. The lower the value, the higher the damage you take. It's pretty standard in Guilty Gear. They changed the guts rating on all the characters. Yeah, this is a lot to look at. I don't have the chart to relate it to, but most importantly, Bridget went from a 0 guts to 2. That's actually huge. Bridget used to just die. Faust has 0. Zato still has 0, but has a better defensive modifier. So basically, like, it's still a high damage game, but they made it so characters don't die as quickly. So, did Chipp get a 5 yet? No, damn it. Still at a 4. Gee willikers. Jacko has a 2 now. Used to be a 1. Yeah, Baiken's always had high guts because the meme is she's Japanese, so that's why she has high guts rating. That's the meme. Oh, Anji will forever have 5. Forever. The only 5s are like Anji and like what, Potemkin? No, Potemkin's a 4. Wait, so they actually lowered his guts rating then. I'm pretty sure he was 5 before. Dizzy's a 5? That's interesting. So this is pretty cool. Overall changes. Here we go. Here we go. Overall direction for adjustments. This update focused on adjustments to individual characters rather than universal mechanics. We focus on reevaluating the core concepts and strengths and weaknesses for each character, adding new aspects and ways to play in line with that for all of them. Okay. Many characters have received significant changes to their tactics and controls, meaning players will have to go back and practice to relearn some things. Thank you. However, we hope this new version of the game will be fun for everyone. I'm here going over these patch notes. I'm hoping it's fun for me too. Adjustments to defense and damage. We've raised defense across the board, increased damage for specific moves. There are still opportunities to deal huge damage in the right situations, but they are more limited. Okay. This change keeps satisfying heavy damage the game is known for, while increasing the overall number of interactions throughout a match. And the magic word is interactions. That's the magic word here, you guys. About 6p, we have established a standard recovery for this move and increased recovery for characters who previously recovered faster. Bye-bye Testament, making it more dangerous to whiff. This makes it easier to react in situations where the opponent whiffs a 6p when using it as a preemptive counter poke. Some characters have also received adjustments to the active frames and hurt box. I'm pretty sure Giovanna got touched here on that one. Gio's probably one of them that got touched, unfortunately. But I know why. This does make sense. Let's hear. Some of those other things don't really matter. I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out. I'm going straight to Chipp and Jacko. They're first and foremost. So I'm clicking on Chipp. Chipp has new special moves: tightrope, run. Tightrope, relatively quick moving, which Chipp retreats backwards while setting up a rope. Holding the H version continues into tightrope run. During tightrope run, Chipp can perform various normals similar to wall run. Of course, you saw it in the videos. He can also enter a tightrope run out of Alpha Blade diagonal while the rope is set. Did see that in the video as well, on the demonstrations. During tightrope run, different inputs allow Chipp to run either on the top or bottom of the rope. Cool. Running on the bottom of the rope makes it easier to force the opponent to block tightrope run attacks at the risk of running into the opponent's grounded pokes. So probably 5p, 6ps, DPs, reversal options, stuff of that nature. Running on the top of the rope allows Chipp to approach while avoiding pokes, but it is challenging to force the opponent to block tightrope run attack from this position. Okay. I'm gonna throw this out here. Initially when I saw it, I was like, okay, my man got a zip line. This doesn't look like, it didn't look like much, but I did try to mess with it at the very least. Just to kind of have, because at first glance you see the tightrope, it's like, okay, it's cool for combos. Then in the most recent footage they show it's cool for mix-up. So it's like, I'm more interested in seeing how it works in terms of offense and how it can use it to move around the screen. That's the most important thing to me personally. Combos and stuff like that, that's pretty obvious. Like, they've already shown that. But how does it affect Chipp's neutral is more important to me personally. Now, this next line already, the first couple words already speak to me. Previously, Chipp notably lacked variation in his options after approaching the opponent. Yes, Arxis, thank you for acknowledging that Chipp has been a Rekka machine for the last like 3 years. The addition of tightrope and tightrope run expands the potential of his neutral and strings, opening up new possibilities. I agree. The blowback of crouching heavy slash has been adjusted in line with tightrope run. Makes sense. They've adjusted crouching heavy slash throughout this game's lifespan a lot. So no surprise here. This makes it easier to use in combos when the rope from tightrope is already set up, but more challenging to use in existing combos with Alpha Blade diagonal. I'm okay with this. So this overall changes his 5p. They probably made it a 5-frame normal or 4-frame. I think it was a 3-frame. It was 3-frame before, so either 4 or 5-frame now at this point. They've been progressively trying to make his standing punch weaker and weaker and weaker. So I'm not surprised. His forward punch has decreased recovery. Thank God. He's the fastest character with the absolute most abysmal recovery on his 6p. It was awful. It was awful. Crouching heavy slash, we just talked about that. Forward heavy slash, they decreased horizontal blowback, which makes it easier to fall for combos, which is good. Alpha Blade, they decreased falling speed and decreased horizontal blowback, which means this is probably for a tightrope run. Probably will be really good for other reasons. For example, he used to do K Alpha Blade into Jump Dust. Maybe that could be a thing that could be done, or Jump Punch or Jump Kick. Maybe one of his faster buttons. Other than that, wall run issues. That's, I've never run into these issues, but I'm sure as the developers, they put it here, so it must have been an issue. Wall run P, increased damage. Wall run K can no longer repeatedly cancel into wall run K. That's whatever. You didn't really do that anyway. And wall run, all his wall run moves have increased damage. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Oh my god, they increased damage on Roga? Wow. How about you buff the damage on Bonky? Bonky never killed nobody. That's the meme. It's like Vegeta's Final Flash. It doesn't kill anybody. It just gives you knockdown. Which is cute, but whatevs. Alright, so Chipp's looking better. Got one of the Jackals. Overview. The adjustments expand her potential to attack with the servants. In response, some of her options that were powerful even without the servants have been toned down. Fine. Servant shoot can now be canceled into a dash when kicking a servant. I did see that. That was the first thing I noticed. This makes it easier to utilize play servants effectively. So she's just more like, she's going to be even more active on the screen. So that makes sense why they kind of tone certain things down. This dash cannot be canceled into special moves or overdrives as it comes out, which means in order to make this even more worthwhile on offense, you have to blue RC it. So that's all this means, which I'm okay with. The minions have enough blocks done anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much, honestly. Her sweep now has a powerful horizontal blowback. Okay. It is harder to follow up with attacks such as Servant Shoot when hitting at max range. That's fine. It's also more challenging to go into a combo on counter hit. So it's just a tighter link. Okay. That's fine. Totally okay with that. Increased recovery on her 6P. I don't know why, but okay. Her 2H does more damage. Makes sense. And the Servant Shoot dash cancels. That's fine. So my characters so far so good. Nothing too crazy. Those are my main two. And I gotta do one more character that does make perfect sense, at least for me. Is Giovanna. I gotta. She is definitely third on this. She's definitely third string. So see what she did to her. Let's see, Gio. We've made many adjustments to her mobility to ensure she can move around quickly and neutral, further emphasizing her identity as a character. Cool. On the other hand, some of her overly powerful strings and combos have been toned down. I'm pretty sure that's her 6P. For her powered up state in which her attack and defense vary corresponding to her remaining tension gauge, she now gains increased movement speed as well. Oh, that's scary. She can more easily move in after the opponent whiffs an attack, making her better at whiff punishing. She was already good at that, you guys. She was already good at that. So that's gonna be twice as much of a skill when you play this character now. Let's see. The version of Sepultura as a cancel from Shave was not widely useful, so it now moves forward drastically. It also has a better hitbox, allowing it to hit even against opponent's 6Ps. So she has a new move to counter poke 6Ps. That's sick. On hit, it knocks the opponent down, creating an opportunity for Oki. So probably big knockback, counter hit, counter, fly across the screen, and then she corners you. So she's already pretty devastating in the corner, so this is pretty good. The version of Trabajo as a cancel from Shave no longer triggers Guard Crush. This makes it somewhat more challenging to go for a ground throw after it's blocked. This should probably strike throwing too hard off of that, so that's why they adjusted it. Since Giovanna has the advantage and is close to the opponent on block, she can extend her pressure with close standing slash. That's fine. She's still going to strike throw you off of it anyway. It's just she's not going to get Guard Crush into 50-50. It's still there. It's just not as egregious. So I think that's fine. That just makes her more unique in terms of her offense and not just one-track minded with what you're supposed to do. Let's see here. Dash. Increased momentum carried over when canceling the start of the action. That's huge. That's actually huge. Okay, they buffed run momentum for her, so that's good. So she has a step dash that keeps on. She's always had run momentum with her dash, but it's even better now. So that's fine. 6P, decreased active frames and increased recovery. It's to be expected. Her 6P was pretty crazy. Her for heavy slash, landing recovery, decreased landing recovery in the third hit. That's cool. Decreased knockback of the third hit. Finally. Increased movement speed of the third hit. Finally. So her 6H is actually no longer a bill. You can use it now. About time. Powered up state. Increased percentage damage while in power state. Yeah, so that's what talks about her damage. She got more damage while being in basically full meter. She can move faster. That's pretty scary. It makes it so you're gonna want to sit with full tension with her more often than not. And then if you get positive bonus, it's okay to burn. Like before you get positive bonus, if you wall break with like, say at 100 meter, you wall break with a super, get positive bonus and just get the positive bonus on top of her power up state, which is, I don't know, man. This thing's kind of scary. Her Hulk mode is gonna be pretty crazy. So Sepultura, they increase recovery. So her stats, and this was bound to happen. That was bound to happen. Her step kick got, increased recovery, which means it's gonna be more it's probably more punishable on block now. It makes sense. That move was pretty egregious. It was good for what it was. It was like -4, so you had to instant block to punish it. Now you don't have to instant block to punish it, most likely. So if it says increased recovery, I'm gonna assume it's at least -6 at minimum, because they don't have the exact recovery here, so I don't know. Something you can test later, obviously, when the full game comes out with the update. Increased knockback on block during Shave, which is nice. Decreased knockback on hit, which is the powered up version of Sepultura. So yeah, they want the regular version to come with risk, and then the other one, you want to use the powered up version more often than not. So this is fine. I think this is fine. They want you to use all the new stuff that they gave her and not make her just like boring, which is doing what she was doing since season 1. So that's fine. Trabajo, increased movement speed, remove guard crush effect, makes sense. Sol Nascente, her DP, the blowback adjustment, decreased horizontal blowback and falling speed when the move is blocked midair. It's fine. Sol Nascente, decreased horizontal blowback and falling speed. Oh, this is all versions, even including the powered up version. So all right, that's fine on that one. And yeah. 214H no longer counts as a counter hit when Giovanna is hit with an attack during animation. That's fine. So all 3 of the characters I would normally play, they're looking good. They're making Giovanna less boring. That's been the problem I feel like I've had with the game, is like a lot of the game as roster has been somewhat boring. Like they do what they're supposed to do really well, but you don't have to go past that. So I think it's cool they're finally like, okay, let's allocate some things and make you use these options that we built for the characters. So this is cool. Mr. Bad Guy. We've made major adjustments to his play based on his concept as a character who specializes in close range pressure. His aggressive lunging moves and long range 6S have been toned down, making mid to far range neutral a weakness for him, as it should have been a long time ago. His aggressive lunging moves and long range 6S have been toned down, making mid to far range neutral a weakness for him. As I said, this is a long time coming. I think Soul should not have been strong from mid-range. He was like this. Yeah, he was strong from mid-range way more than he should have been. Like, it made it so that he didn't have to worry about being that close to you while still being close to you with far slash being plus. So this is a lot better as far as I'm concerned. I'm okay. Like, just him getting so much, I don't know, it's fine the way it is now. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he got way too much miles off that button. Standing K now has longer startup and a better hitbox. Back to Xrd Rev 2. Yeah. Back to Rev 2 you go, Soul. It is no longer the fastest class of strike attacks, but it remains a powerful move at close range. Yeah, his 5K has been pretty crazy. The thing is, 5K has always been a really silly move for this character throughout the entirety of the Guilty Gear series. Even in Rev 2, when they made it weaker, it was still strong. So this is fine because, it also works as anti-air, right? But he also has 6P, and then DP, and then air throw, and then close slash, and then crouching heavy slash. I don't know why you need, another, a 5K. Then jump punch, jump kick, jump slash, jump heavy slash. He has enough anti-air options. He's fine. Let's see. Major adjustments have been made to his neutral strings and combo in line with this. The first hit of grounded Bandit Revolver has more recovery, making it less potent in neutral mostly. Thank you. People in the last season, Bandit, RC, and then here we go, play the game. I like this. If they didn't even have RC, they would just do Bandit and be like, I'm a 50-50 with the follow-up because this is how they made it. So I'm glad they made it this way. Which means you could probably 6P the follow-up. Like more reliably since it has more recovery. Yeah, so you can't just be like Bandit without RC, which is fine. Bandit Bringer now leaves Soul closer to the opponent on block, making it more punishable. Well, you know, Chipp versus Soul just got that much easier now. If anything, this changes the matchup for a lot of characters. And now the aerial version can no longer be held, so the lunge always occurs at the same timing, which means you don't have to adjust. Like a lot of times in this before this patch, they do air, Bandit Bringer, and it's like, when are you coming down? Should I jump up and intercept you? You try to jump up and intercept, then they just let go, and then boom, you get dunked on. So now, since it's always going to be the same, that means it's going to be the same in terms of it being punishable, like it's on the ground. And I'm cool with that. Soul got a lot of mileage already off of special moves as it is. This is just, I think this is fair. He's the poster boy. He should be good. I got no problem with that. But like, you have to work for it. So, but now the crazy part. Night Raid Vortex can now be performed as a cancel from normal moves with changes to the movement, speed, and hit effect. The drastic decrease to the lunging distance means that Soul will need to reach a certain range before he can approach in low profile. Soul versus Jacko. This matchup just got better for Jacko. Can't just Vortex all the way across the screen to get him neat stuff. Fafnir can now be performed as a cancel from normal moves. This is, it has a clean hit property, which this already exists in plus R. All they're doing is giving him plus R properties now. The hit effect receives a major upgrade on clean hit, adding a wall bounce effect, making Soul more unique as a character and not just spamming Bandit Bringer and Vortex. For you Soul players, you know who you are out there. I played some of you guys back in the day in these net play streets, which is Mash and Vortex. I love y'all, but still, now you gotta know how to play Soul. Now the faster startup makes it easier to use, but it no longer triggers Guard Crush, meaning Soul will have to give up his turn if it is blocked. Now we're playing Guilty Gear. Now we're playing Guilty Gear. Now we're actually okay. All right. Now we're playing Guilty Gear. Season 4 already with soul changes already looking kind of nice. Not gonna lie. Heavy Mob Cemetery now costs 100% tension gauge and can be used in combos. My man had a useless overdrive for the longest time. Yeah, I like it. I like it now. Oh, you never see Heavy Mob Cemetery get used like ever. And I do like this because what it says here, which opens up a game plan to finish off the opponent before they can use their burst. This is a Guilty Gear classic, using your super to stop them from bursting, especially in like in-game situations. So I think this is good if you have 100. Also based on pretty much just based on how much damage it actually does. So I mean, I guess you can just say Heavy Mob Cemetery is essentially his dragon install, so it's good he can combo into it. That's just the bottom line. So if it's a way to cash out his damage, I think Soul sounds like a way better and way more interesting character than just Vortex and Bandit of choice. Way more interesting. But let's see what his changes are. 6P has increased recovery, no longer launches the opponent on grounded counter hit. Wow. That's all I'm going to say to that. 5K, first hit, decreased knockback, increased startup, expanded frontal hit and hurt box. They increased the attack level on the second hit. Expanded hit and hurt box, far 6S. Increased recovery. Made a slight adjustment to the opponent's falling speed in line with the new clean hit property for Fafnir. I think that's why they did this, is because his 6S and Fafnir clean hit is going to be probably crazy against the wall. So him getting that at any given point in time with the clean hit, that sounds too crazy. So they had to nerf his mid range. Standing heavy slash, blowback adjustment, decreased blowback overall. It's more challenging now to convert into a combo when far from the corner. I'm okay with this. Jump D, decrease horizontal blowback. It's more challenging to combo, maybe to convert into a combo from far away from the corner. It's fine. Gunflame, decreased damage for the latter half of the active frames. Makes sense. Volcanic Viper, expanded upper hitbox for the latter half of the move's active frame, make it easier to follow up after triggering wall stick with the opponent at a higher position. I don't think Soul had any real issues with his combos in terms of ending with his uppercut. So these are just like, alright, we were thinking about these things so we can do some more unique combos with ending with his uppercut. So I mean, I guess this is okay. Let's see here. Volcanic Viper S version. The start of the attack can no longer be canceled into overdrives. That is a big time oversight. I'm glad they fixed that. Let's see here. Volcanic Viper H. Upon clean hit near the corner, now charges up the wall break value to maximum. Good. 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 Man, good. Thank you. Bandit Revolver, increase standard recovery on the second when the second hit is not performed. That's right. Bandit Bringer, all versions, increase damage, increase attack level upon landing, soul now decelerates while moving forward. Blowback adjustment, increase the height of the ground bounce with faster falling speed, makes it easier to follow up in situations such as after a Roman cancel on counter, etc. Basically, they made Bandit Bringer the way it was in older Guilty Gears. About time. Decrease expansion of the push box on hit. The push box now returns to the standard state upon landing. Grounded Bandit Bringer, increased landing recovery, decreased wall break value gain. The value is now the same as the aerial version. Thank you. Air Bandit Bringer, removes hold input. I read enough. I don't even need to read the rest of it. Wild Throw, increased damage. I'm okay with that. It's whatever. Night Ray Vortex cannot be performed after canceling a normal move. This again just makes it like, again, he's basically plus R sold in Strive now. So this is not surprising to me. Fafnir, they talked about it earlier. Remove the guard crush, has a clean hit property. Will count as a clean hit when hitting the opponent at a set altitude and within a certain distance. So probably like tip range or max range 6S into Fafnir will probably be clean hit. That'll probably trigger clean hit. So basically they gave him, they turned Fafnir into Sidewinder without giving him Sidewinder. For those that like Sidewinder loops, which means he'll probably have Fafnir loops, which will probably be pretty cool to do. So I'm okay with this. I'm alright with this. The rest of this stuff is kind of whatever. Remove the guard crush effect. I already mentioned that when we read it earlier. Tyrant Rave, adjusted behavior on clean hit. They gave Tyrant Rave a clean hit. Oh man. Alright. 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 That's interesting. That's interesting. So he's now clean hit the character. Alright. Again, making Soul more interesting. I'm cool with this. And I talked about Heavy Mob, so we can move on and check out Kai. While Kai is a standard type character with generally versatile, powerful moves at his disposal, improvements to his special moves during shock state make him excel more notably in neutral. In exchange, he's lost some of his combo extensions when outside of shock state. I'm okay with that. You're always in shock state when you fight that character anyway. Stun Edge now causes extended hit stop during shock state. This makes it easier to approach from mid-range after the opponent blocks. Okay. Okay. Charge Stun Edge also causes extended hit stop during shock state. If Kai manages to put the opponent in shock state and knock them down, he has access to powerful Oki to keep the opponent locked down. So, making shock state more valuable while adjusting his combos. The blowback of Vapor Thrust Heavy Size version has been adjusted during shock state, which I did show that off in the video where he can actually get a combo off of that for no meter. So he gets Vapor Thrust loops for no cost for Roman cancels, which I think that's kind of a good thing for the game, that they're giving characters more combo structures without Roman cancel. I think that's probably one of the most challenging things that they've had to come up with, was the way to do damage without RC, because RC is like the hallmark of Guilty Gear. So given this and seeing that, that's good. How good it'll be for Kai, I don't know, but Mid-screen Vapor Thrust loops do seem pretty good. The blowback on hit for Fujiark has been adjusted, making it harder to extend combos mid-screen. That kind of sucks. It is more challenging now for Kai to travel all the way to the corner during a combo. That's fair. His corner carry was pretty egregious in my opinion. Let's see here. 6P increased recovery. How I've waited for this day. Oh, I've waited for this day for such a long time. Kai players throwing 6P out expeditiously was definitely a problem. 6 heavy slash increased recovery. Man, it must be my birthday. Christmas came early. Jump slash added lower hitbox and hurtbox. It probably crosses up now like an old Guilty Gear. Stun edge all versions, increase hit stop during shock state, and dragon install. All his stun edges all got buffed. Fujiark increased falling speed after ground bounce. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, just pretty much all his stuff is just kind of like decreased blowback, increased blowback. I mean, the majority of the stuff is just like, all right, we made Kai really focus on shock state. He's already pretty much like that to begin with, but they just put heavier emphasis on it while nerfing Fujiark, which in my honest opinion, I think that move needed to get touched. Kai players just throw that stuff out and not really care. Very similar to Greed Seaver. At least it's not overhead. If it was overhead, I'd be like, all right, hold on. But the fact that people try to jump away from the Fujiark and then get ground bounced into a full confirm, it's like, all right, that's kind of crazy. So I'm glad it works the way it does now. I don't think he's like hurt to the point where you can't pick him, but I think he's gonna be more solid, and they made it so you just can't just throw things out. I think that's been the problem with Kai for the longest time, and I know some people probably hear me say this and be like, oh man, Kai was fair and balanced, he wasn't broken. It's not that him being broken, it's just like he had a lot of moves you could just throw out. They would throw out random, let me not say random, but they would throw out YOLO slide and be like, RC or not, ready or not, here I come. And that's like red light, green light, slide. Red light, green light, slide. I got meter, red light, green light, slide. It's like Kai players would like froth at the mouth when they had 50 tension and be like, when am I gonna slide? When am I gonna Fujiark into RC or something like that? Which, you know, that's just how I feel. That doesn't mean that like there's no strategy behind it, but like, come on, let's be serious here. So I think, well, I just think this just works better for the game. I do hope that, like, I mean, I don't think this hurts Kai's viability, you know what I mean? It's a new season, so there's no telling how this is going to play out. Mei. We've reevaluated her traits as a highly mobile power type character. Her main pokes such as Far Slash have slower startup. Yes. Far Slash having slower startup? Yes, sir. With hefty moves like Switch H gaining better hitboxes and additional damage to emphasize her identity as a power type. I'm okay as long as Far Slash is nerfed. The ability to control the movement of split with back or forward inputs improves her mobility as well. I believe that's the Dolphin Ride. Together this makes her shine as a character with powerful strikes. What I saw in the videos, she just looks like AC Mei. So a lot of this doesn't really surprise me. It looks like they're actually taking things from Accent Core and older Guilty Gears in general and trying to put it in Strive, which about time, honestly. So this is okay. Standing K increased startup. Far Slash increased startup, but decreased the recovery on it. Alright, fine. Whatever. As long as it's more whiff punishable, I'm cool with that. Crouching Slash, increased startup, increased recovery. Thank you, Arxis. You understand. Standing. Oh yeah. This character definitely has some egregious buttons. Standing heavy slash, increased damage, launch effect on grounded counter hit. I'm okay with that. That's Accent Core stuff for the most part. Increased launch height after ground bounce on counter hit. That's fine. Crouching heavy slash, increased damage. I don't think she needed that, but okay. Yeah, everything is just damage buffs from her from what it looks like. And all this is damage buffs. Increased recovery on jumping dust. I'm okay with that. They increased damage on whale super. Alright, Arxis, hold on a second. Y'all were cooking, and then the increased damage on Great Yamada? I don't know, man. This character already hurt. But, alright. Axel. While he is a character focused on potent, long-range pokes, the input for Sickle Flash made it challenging to perform at the right timing. We've changed the input for Sickle Flash, making it easier to use when making quick decisions during combos or neutral. What? Higher blowback from 6k on hit makes it easier to combo Sickle Flash. Combined with the change to Sickle Flash's input, his combos are now easier to perform. What? Rainwater no longer has a vacuum effect drawing in the opponent. The vacuum effect was added previously as an improvement. However, in line with our intention to highlight unique character traits, we have adjusted this move to serve as a means to open up distance with the opponent. Okay. On hit, combos such as Standing P Sickle Flash are now possible. Bruh, they made it a fireball input. What? He's not a charge character anymore. I am not gonna lie, this character might have moved up on the tier list. Axel might be a problem. I'm gonna highlight this real quick, you guys. Can now be canceled into one vision. Sounds pretty I think that they really want him to get played. They're making him enticing. And to be fair, he was already a good character already, and he's one of the few low-key counters to like Asuka. So this is I'm not gonna lie, I think this character is gonna give Happy Chaos a hard time now. I can't stress. Hey, you guys watching this, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know I know my Guilty Gear. And man, as a quick like insight. Oh man. When they changed Ino's input in Excerpt for Chemical Love from half circle back forward to quarter circle back, that just shot her up, and not only did that shoot her up on the tier list, it also upped her player base. That means Axel has a high chance of having a higher player base now. So get ready to deal with his nonsense. Get ready. Yeah, like the new Sickle Flash may as well be a new special move. And then on top of that, he has the new, you know, what's that, Azir? The freaking tornado from Rashid. Like, oh man, I don't know. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, the vacuum effect is still there on Sickle Flash down. I mean, it's taken away from Rainwaters, whatever. But all his damage buffs is just to keep him in the game. So, I can't lie. This is looking, I can't lie. This season already has some characters that got me looking like, wow, okay. Oh man, the big man on campus, Potemkin. Oh man, Potemkin has a lot to say here. All right, so I'm gonna try to speed through this. So Potemkin is a power type character whose offense revolves around his powerful command grab, Pop Buster. However, in order to go for Pop Buster, he would need to use techniques to extend the movement range of special moves by canceling the starter with 6k, making it an ordeal to perform his most crucial move. These adjustments remove the special sliding input effect from 6k, instead extending the overall range of Pop Buster and adding armor while the grab is active. Okay, The inputs for FDB, Heat Knuckle, and Heavenly Potemkin Buster have been changed as they would previously sometimes activate unintentionally. Potemkin Buster's 360 full circle input remains unchanged out of consideration for the additional range and when it is performed while moving forward. What? There have been major adjustments to his properties overall in line with the above change. We've reevaluated the role of each of his moves so that the hitboxes and hurtboxes make sense for a big body Bugatti power type character. Slidehead received improvements, oh my god, to the hit and block effect, greatly increasing the reward when making contact with the opponent. In exchange, it has longer recovery. Thank you! Making it more crucial to aim for a moment when the opponent cannot avoid it. It was super obnoxious watching Potemkin slide the head though. I'm gonna air dash on you, and then he 6Ps you for trying to move in. I didn't like that. So that's fair. The movement properties for Hammerfall have been adjusted, making it faster initially and then later decelerate. Hammerfall break and Hammerfall cannot cancel into follow-ups during the startup, but have less recovery. Okay. When falling up into Hammerfall break directly after activation, Potemkin now covers much more distance, making it a strong option for approaching the opponent. Fair. Making it more in line with Accent Core. Not surprised. FTB now better fills its role as a means to reflect projectiles, so his flick with improved properties in neutral, it can reflect nearly all projectiles, with the reflected projectile gaining stronger attributes. Okay. In exchange, the strike part of the attack has a weaker hit effect, making it less effective as part of his strings and combos. Okay, all right, fair. Okay, all right, we're here. Mentos, the fresh maker. All right, cool. Garuda Impact has been changed to a projectile move. This makes it no longer subject to the effect of knockback, creating less distance with the opponent when making them block it in the corner. In exchange, it no longer triggers the counter hit effect and allows for the rules for projectiles overall. And follows rules for projectiles overall, with Potemkin remaining in counter hit state until the end of the animation. That means you can punish this and be in counter hit state. Okay, Arxis. Okay, y'all have been critically thinking about this game. Okay, hold on. Hold on, you guys. Let me... I'm not sure what season 3 was at all, to be honest with you. Season 4 is art. This is looking like, I'm not gonna lie, this now, and this is just at first glance, looks like a proper update to Guilty Gear. This looks like what Strive maybe should have been at the start, but it had to go through its rough stages to get to this point. All right, whatever, it's looking okay. All right. They increase his tension gain on forward movement. Damn it. Okay. Standing guard crush, shrunk upper hurt box for standing guarding. Okay, 5P made a major adjustment to the hitbox and hurt box, mainly expanded the frontal hitbox and shrunk the hurt box. Great. That means he won't trade as often now on some of the air dashes. He's gonna beat out air dashes a little bit more cleanly, despite having a 6P. Increased startup on 2P. That move was already like 8 frames. Hey, all right. I'm okay with this. He about to get frame trapped. Let's go. Sorry, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not the biggest fan of Potemkin. Okay, I'm a Chipp player, so obviously I'm not a fan of Potemkin. Okay, I like the matchup personally. I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the character. All right, who am I lying? I love all the Guilty Gear characters, but you know, obviously, Potemkin can go. You know. Anyway, 6P decreased active frames. Oh, you said the magic words for me. Decrease, and active frames. You gave me 3 words I love to read and see. All right, that means Potemkin cannot just throw it out there. Now he has to be using his 6P properly. I'm good with this. Standing K, increased active frames, increased recovery. His standing K is with punishable now? What? I might go back to Chipp full time. Hold on. I don't. 2K, decrease startup, increase recovery. With punishable once again. All right, Arxis, you are 2 for 2. Hold on now. I'm loving this. I'm liking this. Hold on. 6K, remove special effect when canceling start of attack with a special move. He can't cancel 6K. Yeah, they put armor on Pop Buster. So, okay, that's okay. And they decrease the startup of it and they increase the recovery. No change to the overall recovery. That's fine by me. Increased knockback no longer decelerates when connecting with an opponent. Adjusted movement behavior so the momentum remains when cancelled after the attack connects. Well, okay. 6K just seems like it's just what it was in previous games. I'm okay with that. Close slash, decreased knockback, adjusted blowback when hitting a downed opponent. There's slightly less advantage and it's easier to get damage. Whatever. Increased movement during recovery. Whatever. Basically, like, he can't do... He already can't do close slash into instant air dash mediocre, like all the other characters. But I mean, close slash into, you know, hammer fall break, OTG type beat, whatever. That's okay. Far slash, collision, adjustment. Made major adjustment to hit and hurt box. Mainly shrunk the frontal hurt box. They keep buffing his normals. Well, they nerfed his 5K and 2K to make them more whiff punishable, so it can't be like whiffing 5K and 2K, which is fine. While buffing his slash normals, it's okay. 2S made major adjustment to the hit and hurt box. Mainly the frontal hurt box no longer remains active after the active frames. A little harder to whiff punish, but it's slow, so whatever. I say that as I play fast characters. Sorry, you guys that don't play fast characters. But if you learn how to fight Potemkin, there's a range you can kind of stay at to deal with 2S. So, and they use mostly far slash anyway. 2S is more so in like strings. Like you do a close slash into 2S. You'll mostly see it there. You'll hardly ever see it as like, at least in my experience. I haven't kept up with season 3. I'm only speaking from mainly season 2 and early season 3. You don't really see 2S like as a footsie tool. It's only far slash and standing heavy. Crouching heavy, increased damage. All right, I'm just gonna skip past that. I already know where that's going. It's Potemkin. 6H, increased tumble duration. Added wall bounce on his 6H. Accent core. That's the 4 double punch. Jump P, increased recovery. Jump K, expanded upper hitbox. Jump S, increased startup. He about to get 6P for using that move. Jumping H, decrease attack level, adjust the wall break direction horizontally, expanded overall hit and hurt box fine, ground throw, standardized distance after a throw in the corner, regardless of the opponent character. Now Potemkin is not using normal throws from 3 miles away. Thank you, Arxis. Pop Buster standardized, distance after throw in the corner, regardless of opponent character, increased damage on Pop Buster because why not? Can now endure a single attack from the opponent during the active frames. I think they made it to where you can, on moves that are armored, you have to RC to break it. So if you get armored, you could probably use RC to stop it. If they made it so you can't RC it, then that's a big W for Potemkin players. You guys might be eating. We got to test that out in the lab. Yeah, basically Clark from KOF. I mean, from what it looks like, I mean, it's fine. Heat Knuckle increased damage, made the start of the attack less susceptible to momentum. I suppose. Heat Tackle changed input from half circle forward to DP kick. That's the new move that he had. Increased damage, increased active frames and movement duration. Now lands sooner after connecting with the opponent. Gives him better Oki most likely. Mega Fist forward. Decreased landing recovery. Man, come on. Make this move worse. That's a jumping double fist. During startup, no longer. Yeah, that move is annoying. During startup, no longer subject to the effect of knockback from a prior connecting strike, I suppose. Increased height of the leap. That's good for Chipp and Giovanna because that means they can probably dash underneath them. Blowback adjustment, increased horizontal blowback, increased falling speed after ground bounce, and making him have slightly better combos, it seems. Or he just gets better follow-ups. Okay. Mega Fist backwards. Increased landing recovery. Yes. Can't just throw that shit out. During startup, no longer subject to the effect of knockback. Added launch effect on grounded hit. Added launch effect on grounded hit. Okay. They're giving him rewards for Mega Fist. I guess. Yeah, they have to give him something. Slide head, increased duration in which Potemkin can endure attacks from the opponent. Now remains in counter state until the end of recovery. Potemkin players, you guys are finna be bursting if you do a bad slide hit. I'm telling you that right now. Increased recovery on it, increased damage, added guard crush, whatever. I don't mind the guard crush effect. Hammerfall, increased recovery, increased speed when the movement begins, making it proceed to decelerate, increased maximum movement duration. Start of the attack can no longer be cancelled into Hammerfall break. Increased duration of the input buffer window from Hammerfall break. That's fine. Hammerfall break, decreased recovery, so it recovers faster. It's obviously slow in strive. Increased speed when the movement begins, making it proceed to decelerate. Can now endure a single attack from the opponent. So yeah, so he can Hammerfall break and armor through stuff, and probably 360 you to get double the armor. I'm cool with that. FTB. Change command from have to go backslash to 214K. Yeah, that's Flick. Wow, so they made Flick 214K now. Wow. Increased startup, increased active range, decreased recovery, reduced hold time to fully charge. That's fair. Probably get new Oki setups for that. This has no effect on the startup with a fully charged version. Decreased damage, decreased attack level, increased knockback on hit, decreased backwards movement distance on hit in the corner. Added strike and throw invincibility until the end of recovery when reflecting a projectile. No one's gonna throw him, so he's just invincible. I don't know why I say strike and throw. Just say you're just invincible, but okay. Just to clarify, it's both strike and throw, I suppose. Just they made Flick unique, modified projectile properties, triggers, projectile and explosion on contact, hitting twice. Scary. I mean, this is fine. Garuda's changed to a projectile in accordance with this change. The various properties now follow the rule of projectiles. The opponent no longer enters a blocking stance before the attack comes out. Whoa. The opponent no longer enters a block stance before the attack comes out. So no more proximity guard on this move. So no more Garuda impact though. Times 5. And take on that chip damage. That means he can't spam it. Yeah, that's good. No longer trigger scout effect. Excuse me. Decreased tension gain. Good. Increased base damage scaling. Good. Decreased chip damage. Fantastic. No longer affected by knife tag. Oh, this is fine. I read what I needed to see. Garuda's not broken. Heavenly Potemkin Buster is the has to go back. Whoa. It's because it had overlap. Gigantor, the projectile no longer travels beyond the corner. Oh, he's got blue wall assault. Oh, so we don't have white wall assault anymore? Ooh, Arxis? All right. No more white wall assault on Potemkin? There is a god. There is a god. Whoever did this patch, they were thinking. All right, Faust. Ooh, we got a lot of characters to go through. This is. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is gonna be a long video, so you're gonna be here for the long haul. All right. I'll make sure everything's timestamped so you guys can see everything. No worries. Faust. We've reevaluated the mechanics of several moves so we can make more use of items. In exchange, several of his moves that were oppressive and neutral have been toned down. Hooray! Hole in one can now be performed individually rather than only as a follow-up from pullback. Ooh, so the batter up, that's gonna be scary. When used like this, hole in one can strike items. It can even strike items that have fallen on the ground, so it will be possible to strike the afro and force on the opponent, for example. Damn it. That's actually a buff. When using what could this be? Basically item toss. An item is stored. Back or forward inputs can control the position where the item is tossed. So he has more control over item toss. So that's actually good for Potemkin. For Faust, excuse me. This means Faust can make better use of stored items, including items like the trumpet, that were hard to use well when stored, by tossing it to a position closer to himself. People would normally fight for trumpet, that's for sure. J2K has more recovery on landing. Can't be spamming that move now. It's a very powerful and highly rewarding on counter hit when performed at low altitude. This changes the risk when it whiffs. This game sounds good. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like a way better game. And I'm not saying it just because, like, you know, Faust is not truly a nemesis to me in per se, but it's just looking at how they're adjusting the risk reward for the characters is pretty good. I actually agree with this. The mini Faust previously remained on screen for an extended duration, meaning the opponent couldn't move for a long time, reducing the number of times it can change walking direction. So mini Faust don't just stay there until you activate it. A nerf, but given all that he can do now, he has the batter up. I don't know, man. I think this is actually pretty good. Yeah, he can probably bat mini Faust, so that's okay. Dust attack, added a dedicated hitbox that can strike items. Yeah, that's the what we're talking about, I believe. This hitbox can only hit items that are mid-air and does not hit the opponent. Change how hitting items works. Previously, this was handled based on the distance for striking items, but now it's managed with a hitbox for hitting items and a hurt box for the items. Nice. Okay. This is more interesting. This sounds more like Guilty Gear. This is what I'm talking about. I was cool with season 2 and certain things they had going on. Season 3 made me scratch my head, but this is looking... Man, this sounds so much better. Okay, air throw. Decrease horizontal blowback. Increase launch height after ground bounce. Leaves him closer after a successful throw with more advantage. His air throw is more better. Okay, cool. What could this be? 22P with the item stored. Yeah, that allows you to change horizontal. Yeah, so we talked about that earlier. Hole in one. Increased damage on clean hit. So he has a clean hit property on that. Hole in one. 214H can be performed individually rather than as a follow-up. It has no clean hit property, but it can strike items. That's fair. That's fair. I won't be surprised if in a patch they'd be like, hey, you know, we decided to give him a clean hit property after RC when you hit. Maybe not for items, but just in general. So that's... 214P, love. Mid-air, fixed entry causing the bomb to explode after an area shift under certain conditions. That's a bug. Bomb, increased damage. Why? 100-ton weight, increased damage. Why? There are now changes to the damage, guard crush duration, and blowback when the item is struck with dust attack or hole in one. Okay, donut can now be obtained while it is mid-air when the item is struck with a dust attack or hole in one. That's a bait. What the hell? So you can toss donut, do hole in one. I'll just say batter up just for the sake of batter up and swing that sucker. RC and test to see if someone's gonna want to take that, and then you. Wow, what a mini game! Basically, you can do that and like double check you for trying to go get the donut if you're like low on health, right? So it's another mini game he can play with you. That's crazy, and that's like with all the moves here. So meteors, donut, banana, afro. Meteors, there are now changes to damage and blowback when the item is struck with dust attack or hole in one. Yeah, it makes sense. Mini Faust decreases the number of times it changes directions. Thank God, trumpet can now be obtained even while it is midair. I could see now Faust trying to do hole in one RC and try to catch the item. and then use it for himself. That sounds scary. They always find a way to make Faust silly, man. But I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it sounds more interesting than what he's been in Strive this entire time. So I'm cool with it. Like, my new tune for you guys that don't know this, I'd rather have more people enjoy their character and not hate life while they play their main. So a lot of people that played Faust were not really feeling it for a long time. I think this now will open the doors and have more Faust players to come about. So this is kind of cool. Millia. Millia's biggest strength as a character is a high degree of freedom. Mid-jump. The adjustments were made to further highlight the strength. Some of her moves which were challenging to deal with and highly rewarding have been toned down. Probably jump K and jump slash. She can now act sooner during her aerial backdash so she can quickly cancel into a normal move. When canceled quickly, Millia's trajectory drops directly down, opening up potential for misleading strings. AKA, my mix-up just got better. It's now easier to cancel jumping dust into air dash. It now deals more damage, meaning a successful mix-up with jump D can lead to solid damage. Oh boy. As Capel was highly rewarding on hit despite being challenging to handle for the opponent, it no longer launches the opponent on grounded hit. Well, Millia, Chipp might have to bust that ass again. The knockback has been adjusted so that it can combo into jumping K and other moves, making it possible to end the combo with sweep for a knockdown. That's fair. Glad it doesn't launch anymore. Okay, 6P, decreased active frames, increased recovery. Alrighty, wait. But look at that. They nerfed 6P, close slash, increased damage. As if she needed close slashes anti-air anymore. Whatever. Jump K, increased launch height. Jump H, expanded horizontal hitbox and hurtbox. Jump D, increased damage, can now be canceled to air dash or aerial backdash, even at low altitude. Meaning jump D is going to be a nice fuzzy attack for people, and she's going to scare you with that. It's going to be jump scares. Iron Savior, increased damage. Mirage, increased duration of which the window when it could be. Yeah, that's what I thought. They made Mirage special cancelable faster now. Artemis, increased damage, because why not? Eric Capel, increased knockback. Adjusted to no longer launch opponent when on grounded hit. Thank God. She's still the mix-up queen. Nothing too crazy here. Nothing too crazy here. The nerf to 6P. Yeah, the nerf to 6P was warranted, while still having close slashes and anti-air and still dealing way more damage than you ever would off of a 6P with that move. So I mean, she's still the same. Capel nerf warranted. Mirage buff warranted. Jump D scary. The new air dash mechanics scary. She's just better. She's better incrementally and not ridiculous. So, and I feel like they found somewhat of a sweet spot for Millia, so that's fine. Zato. This guy's been struggling for the last season and some change. Adjustments have been made to make Zato's normal moves more viable, as well as for Eddie to be more easily incorporated into neutral. As a result, this makes it easier to attack in tandem with Eddie. If you don't know how to play Zato, it's not that hard. Sun Void allow for overly extended pressure, so the situation on block has been made less advantageous. Thank God. Opposed now drains less Eddie life gauge before the attack comes out, draining more upon attack activation. Okay. It still completely drains the Eddie life gauge when fully activated, but Zato can now use it as a shield in neutral and then cancel into another move at low cost. Alright. He's been struggling. I'm going to just leave it at he's been struggling. The attack level of Far Slash has increased and it now can combo into Invite Hell. Oh, man. Alright. Okay. Alright. He might have needed it. Let's see here. Damn Fang now fully restores the Eddie gauge when the final hit lands. They just want to make you use command grab when you're dying. Or when Eddie doesn't, you don't have Eddie gauge. Combined with the reduced hitback on standing heavy slash, combos such as standing heavy slash, wild assault, damn fang are easy to go into now. Alright. You got it, Zato. Eddie has longer recovery after Sun Void, and that's a lot. Can now be avoided with a jump when used after the opponent blocked Sun Void. Thank you. In order to keep the opponent locked down completely, the string needs to start from Pierce, making it harder to lead into mix-up strings than before. Cool. 6P, decreased active frames, increased recovery, warranted for a long time. Close slash, increased damage. Far slash, increased attack level. 2S, increased active frames. I guess he needed that. 2S is already good. Standing heavy slash, decreased knockback on hits so the wild salt can combo. 6 heavy slash, decreased startup, decreased knockback, increased horizontal movement speed. Momentum now remains on landing, which is the where he jumps and throws a skull out of his chest. There's that. Pierce, increased damage. That's a lot. Increased damage. So those moves are Pierce would be like Eddie's Shadow when he does like the little pokes, and then that's a lot is the mini drills. Leap is Shadow Kermit. Oppose is the shield. All the things got increased damage. Break the law. Activation condition for movement while the 2-2 input is now determined by whether or not Eddie is currently present, not on the remaining Eddie life gauge. Okay, cool. Damn Fang. Eddie gauge. Drunkard Shade. Expanded frontal hitbox and hurtbox. That move was pretty egregious when he was good. Sun Void. Increased recovery for Eddie. Increased damage. Fair. Seems better. Seems improved. How much better is this character is the real question. Ramlethal Valentine. We've reevaluated her mechanics on a large scale to make her excel at fighting from mid-range with her 2 swords. Bayonetto has majorly improved attack properties with the S version, now firing at a downward diagonal from above. Unlike previous versions, it now serves as an extremely powerful projectile even from mid-screen. To add a weakness in exchange, we've added a time duration after firing the sword before it can be collected again. Okay, fair. We've also made adjustments to most of her moves to create more contrast in her power between when she is with or without swords. Her damage with no swords is lower, whereas with swords she now deals around 1.5 times the swordless damage. Zato now launches the opponent higher, even on grounded hit, making it possible to follow up with a combo. If Ramlethal can combo into Daro after hit confirming a move such as Far Slash, of course it's Strive, it's the only button you press. All intents and purposes, no pun intended. This can lead to significant reward from mid-range. Okay, cools. Sildo Deturo. Alright. Flip. Now functions as an overhead with fast startup. Whatever. If you can react to it, you just punch it out of the air. It will pass over to the other side if the opponent. It'll pass to the other side of the opponent if they're crouching at close range. So you have to know how to space it right. So it's not free. Thank God. Irlimo previously required techniques such as dash cancel, so that's for Rekkas. However, the adjustments made keep it simpler, focused instead on the buffs gained from delayed inputs. Okay, cool. So no dash cancel Rekkas anymore. That was pretty for me as a Chipp player, I find it kind of annoying that Ram gets to have all this extra stuff off of her Rekkas while Chipp is just like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 1 1 1 2 3, and she gets to dash cancel hers and make her pressure scarier with her Rekkas. So that's fine. Calvados can now only be used when both swords are equipped with significant extra damage in exchange. Okay, fair. While it's more challenging to use, if it connects, it's an extremely potent move. So that's a cash out. 5p decreased damage. No, that's the beam super. Yeah, Calvados is beam super. 5p, 2p decreased damage, 6p increased recovery. Haha, thank you. Decreased damage. All I care about. The rest is whatever. 5k decreased damage, 2k decreased damage, close slash decreased damage. She got damage decreases. Okay, so she's gonna be a more footsie based character now, like she should have been in the first place, to be honest with you. Far slash decreased damage, increased sword damage though with Far slash. 2s in decreased damage, increased sword damage. Standing heavy, increased damage. Okay. 2h increased sword damage. Fine. Don't care about the rest of it. 6h increased damage. Dust attack, increased active frames. Her dust wasn't that good. It's just scary because of the explosion from the sword tosses. So sweep, decreased damage. Jump B, decreased damage. Yay! No more silly damage from Scramblethal. JPPPPPPPPPPPPP. Yay! Jumping S, increased sword damage. Jumping H, increased sword active frame, increased sword damage. Jump D, decreased damage. Yikes! Hereka's increased damage. Added guard crush effect to sword attack. No wait. That's the sword toss, right? Yeah, that's sword toss. Added guard crush effect to no sword attack, so that's interesting. Increased time duration until the explosion attack triggers. Okay. Sword can no longer be picked up again until it begins moving towards Ramlethal. Increased time duration before the sword begins moving towards Ramlethal. So when you toss your swords now, you got to be smart about it. There is risk reward now. Good. So to blah blah, get your sword back, run up, blah explosion, get your sword back, run it back again. Like that's kind of lame. So I think this is good. Decreased movement speed of the sword moving towards Ramlethal. So you have to go collect the sword. Fair. Right, that's what I'm saying. So when it starts moving, then you can collect it. Yeah, before it would just sit there, you can just run up and collect it. Now you have to wait for it to start moving to be able to grab it. So that's fine. Yeah. Let's see here. The S version now launches from above at an angle downwards. Removes crumple effect on grounded hit, making it launch the opponent. This sounds interesting. This makes me interested in Ram. I already liked her playstyle. She just was just boring. This seems cool. So that's interesting. Zato, increased startup, decreased attack level, launch effect on grounded hit, decreased knockback on hit, increased speed as the movement starts, then increase in the deceleration. Zato just seems like old Zato. The flip, we talked about that already. So decreased damage on the air version, increased movement speed on the air version. Yeah, this is fine. Nothing I'm reading here that really is that notable on the grounded version. It's nothing really that major. Decreased landing recovery on the air version of the flip, so that's understandable. Let's see, 214H can now be performed after canceling a normal move. Increased startup, increased movement speed, making it proceed to decelerate. This is the big sword swipe if I recall right, no? 214H. Now you can do it in strings, so that's kind of scary. But you probably get mashed out. Yeah, you have to be asleep at the wheel to get hit by that in a string. But they probably gave it to her so that she can do stuff against the wall. So it's probably better for like wall closeout. Or wall cash out, excuse me. 214P, adjust the overall properties, adjust the timing of canceling falls when the hit stop ends, increase the input buffer. Okay. Let's see here. So 214P, that's Eureka's. Increase active frames, increase startup on the first hit, decrease active frames, increase recovery. Increase damage. So you have to confirm her Eureka's now. You can't just be throwing them out. I'm okay with this. So they changed her Eureka input instead of doing 214 to just back P. That's fine. Remove dash cancel property. Hooray. Increase startup. Hooray. Increase recovery. Hooray. Increase damage. And damage of the power version remains unchanged. Decrease attack level. Added guard crush effects to the power up version. That's kind of interesting. Let's see the third hit. Increase startup. Decrease recovery. Increase damage. Decrease damage of the power up version on the third hit. Okay. So second hit's probably gonna be what you have to focus on, unless you just want to knock them down or whatever, or just get the guaranteed damage. It's kind of interesting. Undo fixing issue with a sword. 24S increased sword damage. Oh, that's right. That's the air double swipe. Increased sword damage. Yeah, that's fine. Calvados can only be performed when both swords are equipped. Mortabato, which is her sword super. Increased damage when both swords are equipped, decreasing damage otherwise. Thank you! Yeah, they're definitely pushing you to learn your character and not just cheese. Yes, this just feels, reading it feels like this is the evolution of what Guilty Gear should be. While like the evolution of Guilty Gear while simplifying it and adding more depth. I think that's what's been missing from the game. Like, they keep trying, but it always just feels like it falls short somewhere. This feels like, okay, we had to go through season 3 in order to get here. So this feels more like they know what they want to do for Guilty Gear moving forward. So I would imagine season 5 now will be another system update, while having like some focus on like character changes. So this feels good so far. Oh man, Leo Whitefang. This guy's been a culprit for a minute. Let's talk about this cat. Leo's main strength should be his powerful offense and Brian Hilder stance. However, he also excelled at neutral before entering the stance. That's the fact. These adjustments make it more challenging for Leo to enter his ideal situation with the opponent at point blank range while he's in Brian Hilder stance. In exchange, multiple adjustments to Brian Hilder stance make it even more powerful offense. Make an even more powerful offense possible once he manages to enter the stance. He now halts right away after a back input mid dash, make it harder to close the distance while blocking. Okay. Swites now moves more slowly, as a result requiring Leo to be closer to the opponent in order to cross them up. Oh man, so they nerfed the 214H. So the run slash got nerfed, it seems. After hitting him with Einsternum HS version, he can now perform Okazemi while crossing over to the side of the opponent with it. So HDP still gives him Oki. A little lame, but alright. During Brian Hilder's stance, his step can now be cancelled into attacks. Okay. Alright. Okay. They still want him to be good. Alright. The attack gains momentum after canceling, making it possible to attack while sliding. We'll let you still play Guilty Gear while you're back turned. You don't have to wait for the dash to complete to play. Alright. Turbulence now creates more distance with the opponent on block. Combined with the added invincibility for his back step during Brian Hilder stance, he has more options for neutral while in the stance. In other words, hey, you can play neutral with him in Brian Hilder stance. Period. Start the game off in Brian Hilder stance. Just do it. Why not? Okay. Dash. Leo now halts when you do that. So he can dash block, essentially. 6p increased recovery. Thank you. Eyes and Sternum. S version. The start of the attack can no longer be cancelled in overdrives. That's such a weird change. H version. Decreased horizontal blowback. Swipes. Decreased movement speed. So yeah, now the run slash is definitely going to get... That's going to throw more often now. Turbulence. Increase knockback on hit. Okay. That's right. That's the shield bash. Or the ground pound. Yeah, they showed that knockback on the trailer. Okay. During Brian Hilder stance, you can attack during a dash, backdash, added brief strike, and throw invincibility as the move starts. So his Brian Hilder moves are basically like his movement and everything is just like he's standing in front. Alright. Adding strike throw. I'd rather him just have still the ability to just attack out of it while still maintaining the remaining portions, but let's see how it goes. Let's see. Brian Hilder P. The start of the attack can no longer be canceled. Other options. Increased damage. All his Brian Hilder stance options got increased damage. And you can't like cancel the start of it into other actions. D can be dash cancelled after withstanding an attack without triggering the effect. Great. Dash cancel after withstanding an attack without triggering the effect. Sick. So basically like projectiles that don't trigger the follow-up, you can dash cancel it now. Great. So Brian Hilder stance is going to be a problem against projectiles. So now you have to learn how to play him in Brian Hilder stance. Interesting, but I'm getting the feeling players that play him already are not going to really adjust to this. But there's a big change here, and the run slash being more slower as a move will change how he plays neutral. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, they definitely want to slow him down a little bit. Seems okay. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Naoriyuki's potent mix-up has been toned down, adding more depth to his blood gauge management instead. While the blood gauge is high, he wields extremely powerful pokes, worthy of his one-shot character type title. Naoriyuki now knocks the opponent down straight away on grounded hit. It can no longer follow up into a combo even when Red Roman cancel, making it possible to combo off of his powerful overhead attack. Okay. That's definitely DP. It's only the overhead option he's got. Standing H and crouching H can no longer be canceled into special moves. Ooh. Okay. That's a nerf. They're harder to incorporate into strings, but they can deal major damage even at single hits when the blood gauge is high. They deal heavy chip damage as well, making them now very potent even when blocked. The blowback for blood rage has been adjusted, making it possible to continue for a combo if it's at high altitude near the corner, which we saw that in the video. Zentetsu now deals more guaranteed damage. He can take advantage of these changes to strategically manage the blood gauge and intentionally activate blood rage to finish off the opponent. This is quite challenging as he needs to be aware of the opponent's burst gauge as well, but he has the potential to end the match with one fell swoop. Okay. Yeah, Naoriyuki now just has more risk reward attached to him. You can now set the blood gauge level. That's a nice quality of life change. We needed that for season 1 and 2 and 3. 6P increased recovery. Yay! 6K adjusted to maintain momentum on cancel, crumple, added crumple effect on non-counter hit. Okay. Standing H can no longer be canceled with special moves. Increased damage, added guard crush effect. Okay. Crouching heavy slash. Same thing. 6H, increased damage. Okay. I'm glad these matches will be harder for him. Totally alright by me. So during Blood Rage, if Zentetsu doesn't kill, it reduces his HP to 1. People are talking about that for sure. Naoriyuki remove ground bounce effect from the second hit. When the second hit lands as a counter hit, it maintains the prior ground bounce effect. So no ground bounce on normal hit. He's harder. You have to really think about your gameplay now. Season 4 is definitely turn your brain on. So far from reading it. Anji is a character who launches offense while taking risks. However, there were many instances where the reward let's see here, where the reward far outweighed the risk. This is true. While reducing the damage he can get from Fujin, we've added new offensive options for him and made it easier to extend his offense. His offense moves at a faster pace, so while it comes with risk, he can better dance around the opponent. Which we did see, he did like double Fujin in the trailer. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here. The decreased hitback on Nagiha leaves Anji closer to the opponent after they've blocked the attack. It's still very potent. It's still a very potent option to make the opponent block it at max range. However, at the wrong spacing, it can be punished more easily because they definitely made Nagiha safe. Definitely hard to punish. Ren now knocks the opponent down straight away on grounded hit. It can no longer follow into a combo even when Red Roman cancelled. However, the faster startup makes it more effective as a mix-up. You get a knockdown setup again. That's fine. They don't want you to delete people off of an overhead. He definitely was doing that. On hit or block, it is now possible to cancel charge Fujin into Fujin Ko Osugaretsu no Hakobi. While the change to Rin makes it harder to deal major damage after mix-up, he can now extend his offense. It is also possible to use charge Fujin again after charge Fujin. The opponent needs to take some sort of action in order to escape, meaning Anji can make a highly rewarded read to counter the opponent's escape option. It's Anji going back to old Anji. To be honest, nothing. Yeah, he's definitely Fujin the character more so than he was before. So his offense is going to be more tricky, and I think that's fine. I think that they've been wanting to make Anji like better, but they've been just being reserved about it. So this is good. 6P has decreased recovery. Jump D has increased damage. Oh boy. They talk about charge Fujin, Nagiha decreased knockback, Ren decreased startup, increased damage, Ko increased damage because his anti-hero needs more damage, of course. turns direction. Okay, that's fine. Ino's unique dash makes it challenging to adjust her position, so we made adjustments to improve her subpar neutral. She has more poke options from long range to make it easier for her to create situations where she can dash towards the opponent. She can now perform antidepressant scale again while the first projectile remains on screen. The initial projectile will explode as it does on hit and then disappear, dealing a single hit. This can function as a feint when the opponent attempts to avoid the projectile to help control their movement. Chemical Love can now be performed while performing a 6 input. Disclose the distance on hit. So basically it's 2 1 4 6 to be able to like make it move forward. Aerial Chemical Love is now subject to momentum, meaning it can be used while descending. When performing out of an air dash or back dash or air back dash, she can throw out a poke while moving horizontally. Okay. Improved. 6p increased recovery. Let's go. Air throw, blowback adjustment, decrease horizontal blowback. 24p, remove the repeated usage limitation. The projectile fired previously will explode in its current position. Okay, let's see here. Chemical Love, inputting physical information. During the animation, allows you to move forward, increase damage on Chemical Love. Not surprising they buffed damage on that move. Stroke. The big tree, hurt box no longer expands until the end of the active frames. Mad Love Agito, Tone 4S, increase active frames, adjusted the timing of the input buffer window to start early for canceling into normals or special moves. Then recovery after connecting with the opponent. 236k, Sultry performance, increased damage on S and K versions of Sultry. Let's see. See here, Sultry performance charge version. Decrease the time it needs to be held to activate the charge version. Increase damage, increase hit stop on the final hit. Okay, that's cool. And then for Fortismo, blowback adjustment on grounded counter hit. For the initial hit, reduce horizontal blowback and launch height. Improved. Better character. How much? That's the real question. Because they do this every game. They're like, hey, we decided to give her something to help her neutral game out. And then it either is super good and it helps her out looking at her in Rev 2, or it's just kind of subpar. It's just subpar. That's all I can say. Oh man, Big Dickinson. We've mainly expanded his options using Behemoth Typhoon. The security level related mechanics have been adjusted in line with this. Oh boy. Goldlewis can now spend security level to follow up Behemoth Typhoon by using the same direction Typhoon again. Alright. This opens up even more powerful offensive options for him, such as following up the Behemoth from up to down. So like the Tiger Knee, well, reverse Tiger Knee, I guess, I don't know, up to down Behemoth Typhoon with half circle back Behemoth Typhoon. The hit effects for each Typhoon type have been adjusted in line with this change. Skyfish can now be fired repeatedly when held. Oh boy. It expends security gauge level gradually every 3 shots fired and can be fired until it's empty. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. Well, at least he's deeper. At least he's not just Behemoth Typhoon the character. We'll see. It could be as a means for an end with trying to fight Dizzy. I can see that. Let's see. The charge rate and depletion timing of security level has been changed. Now with the time duration after each instance it is spent during which it does not charge. These changes come together to mean that Goldlewis needs to carefully consider where to use security level based on the situation in the match. Yeah. Basically, yeah, they want you to use the security level a lot more so that you're able to, like, he's gonna Typhoon anyway. I think they want it to be like, all right, if you're gonna Typhoon a second time, go ahead and record cancel into it again to try to maximize it. But at the expense of like, okay, now you can't use Skyfish like that. You can't use Drone. You know what I mean? Like, you can't use certain things without gauge. So, all right. Seems okay. He has an introduction line versus Slayer now. 6 heavy increased damage. Alright. Alright. They just talked about it. Added a cooldown time to each move that expends security gauge. The same rotation direction of Beam Typhoon can now be performed as a follow-up at the cost of security level. Adjustments have been made over. Yeah. So you can use the exhausting security gauge. We talked about that earlier. Has to go back Typhoon. Blowback adjustment now launch the opponent directly upwards. They wanted to make the regular Typhoon actually worth it. Because people weren't really using it like that. They used the other versions. First half the active frame. So they fixed the down to up Typhoon. So, okay. Alright. Up Typhoon from back. Half circle up. Half circle back. No. Half circle. Whatever. This Typhoon with heavy slash. First half of the active frames. Change the blowback. Send the opponent forward. I don't play Goldlewis, so I'm gonna just skip all these Typhoon things. For those that play Goldlewis, go ahead and read that. So we're gonna skip the Typhoons. Thunderbird. Adjust the timing when the security level depletes to happen later. Skyfish, they talked about Skyfish earlier. Burn it down. Adjust the timing when the security level depletes to happen later. As the round timer pauses during the startup of overdrive, the security level charging also pauses. This applies to when the... Okay. This is fine. That's fine. He seems about the same, but a little bit deeper. Especially with the usage of security gauge, so you gotta make it count essentially. Not bad. Yeah, no more spam. Or so we think. We'll see how it plays out. HC. We've made fine-tuned adjustments to his mix-up and ability to control the situation. Scapegoat has been toned down in order to make the demerit of not being able to block during fire more clear. J2K now launches the opponent on hit. They did show that in the trailer when he did it against Nago. It can now lead into highly damaging combos on successful mix-up. Sweep now launches the opponent higher on hit. He can now start Okazemi in a more advantageous situation when replenishing resources with reload and focus. Okay. Scapegoat no longer withstands an attack from the opponent. When Chaos and Scapegoat are in the same position and the opponent attacks, the attack will hit Chaos as well. Okay, that's huge. He moves back farther during the move, making it more potent when used to create distance and replenish resources. So long as you're near the clone, you hit Chaos. Okay. Thus attack added for movement. Okay. Sweep. We talked about that. J2K. We talked about that. Fire. All versions increase damage. During steady aim, increase damage. Scapegoat clone no longer negates opponent's strike collision. Increase movement speed when moving backwards. Yeah. Seems fine. Alright, Baiken. Her moves are now more versatile overall, making her close range offense highly potent. It was already good to begin with. Far standing slash has less hit back, so following attacks are more likely to connect. Combined with the changes to standing heavy slash, crouching heavy slash, it's now easier to use Kabari in combos. The H version in combos, in fact. Kabari S version has a more powerful vacuum effect, pulling the opponent in close regardless of the distance when it connects. Combos are now more consistent on hit, with better situation for Baiken when it is block. Okay. As Hiragi doesn't have throw invincibility like other reversals, we've given it its own unique merit. It can now be performed even while blocking the opponent's attack, so she's got her parry back on block. Oh, when performed while blocking, it does not perform the counterattack from the standard successful parry. It triggers repel. It's repel. Okay. They gave Baiken her on block parry back. That's actually huge. That's huge. Are we actually playing Guilty Gear again? Is this actually? Is this actually Guilty Gear again? You guys, I know this has already been a long video, you guys, but man, I'm reading this and I'm like, all right. Baiken is Baiken again. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Yeah, Baiken's definitely back. 6p increased recovery. Needed. Sorry. Far slash decreased knockback. Yeah, 6p's got nerfs across the board, so it's not surprising. Far slash decreased knockback. That's good. Standing heavy slash added ground bounce effect on grounded hit. That's crazy. Removed wall bounce. Understandable. 2h. Decreased horizontal blowback. It's fine. 6h. Increased damage. Added ground bounce effect on grounded hit. Increased launch height after ground bounce. So 6h cavalry is probably going to be a thing. JD increased damage. Great. Just what we needed. More JD loops. They talked about the cavalry earlier. Yozansen added a vacuum effect when connecting with the opponent at the later half of the active frames. They just keep randomly, like, Arxis, listen, I feel you. Y'all be just playing with my emotions with this move. Man, Yozansen is kind of crazy. All right. And we talked about the Hiragi being active. You can do it during block stun. So basically now Baiken players have to know their defense better now. So basically Baiken's back to old Baiken with this one. I think this is a long time coming. Let's see here. And then her air super got some bug fixes. That puts a smile on my face. I'm actually happy to see Baiken back in form. Like, Hiragi not being used on block was just kind of a bill. And now she has the Hiragi repel into dash, which I did say that she should have had that not even a week after her release when she first came out. Go look it up. It's on my YouTube. But it's good to see. I suggested something to be in the game and they put it in the game. Shout out to you, Arxis. Shout out to you. I know you guys are watching my channel. I know you guys were watching my videos, all right? Testamente. We've made adjustments to improve Testament's pressure during stain. Ground and air throw now also trigger the stain. What? Ground and air throw also triggers the stain follow-up? So when you get stained, if you get thrown, you get it pops them up. While damage proration prevents this from leading into major damage, combo leading into wall break is possible. So basically, this is okay with risk buildup. So it's okay. So it's fair. Testament 6P had one of the best hitboxes and excelled in controlling the opponent's movements. So it now has heavier recovery. It now comes with suitable risk on whiff. I agree. So increased recovery on 6P. It's not the only 6P that got touched. 6H, increased damage, of course. Let's see. Grave Reaper, charged all version, increased damage of the strike part. So, Testament's still doing Testament things. Just a nerf to 6P, but like increased damage. And the buff to stay on throw. That's kind of scary. If they get stained and she gets air and then they get an air throw, it's a problem. For you Testament players, it might be time to reinstall. I'm gonna throw that out there. Definitely better character. Bridget, rolling movement has new options to expand Bridget's neutral and string potential. Inputting up or down during rolling movement now change the trajectory in the direction of the input of the opponent. That's what I figured when I first saw it. In line with this, she can no longer jump during rolling movement, making it impossible to jump and then block the opponent's attempted counter. That's fair. For the shared damage adjustments, the increase for Bridget is relatively minor. This helps clearly convey her concept as a character who has a plethora of options but deals lower damage. 6P increased recovery. Thank you. Close slash. The opponent will now be blown into the front even if they're behind Bridget. Fair. Readjusting combos. Jump H, the opponent will now be blown to the front. Same as this. Rolling movement. We talked about that. Starship. The start of the attack can no longer be canceled overdrives. I think that's during super freezes and stuff like that. Loop the loop, increased damage of Roger's attacks, including the final hit. Bridget's still doing Bridget things. Just slight nerf to rolling. I think it's okay, seeing how rolling's already really good as it is, and I think they did that to take away the fuzzy guard stuff too. So, somewhat of a nerf while still keeping Bridget tricky. I don't think it's that bad personally because some of those rolling mixes were pretty tricky. So, it's fine. Food Kid, ShinKensou. Shin is a character who uses stamina resources to go on the offense, but the fast recovery rate meant that it was rarely ever exhausted. These adjustments slow down the stamina recovery rate and extend the cooldown time. In exchange, his moves that cost stamina are more powerful. It is simpler for him to get into highly damaging combos, but combined with the changes to far slash and crouching slash, he has a harder time when he is low on stamina. Gazelle Step can now be used individually. What? Rather than as a follow-up only. I said he should have had this when he came out. Gazelle Step, it doesn't make sense. Let me throw this out really quick for you guys. A character with a command dash, a part of his kit that has to be reckoned into, isn't, in my opinion, good. It's a command dash. He needs to be able to use it when he needs it. This is good. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Sin is pretty damn simple to play as it is. So I hope when I read the rest of the stuff, he's kind of like, not nerfed, but like kind of normalized, because he was pretty wild in season 3. It's an exceptionally powerful tool to close distance with far slash. However, the increased recovery means that Sin needs to surprise the opponent or risk getting countered. So Gazelle Step still has like, recovery, which that's fine. The follow-ups from his special moves have been adjusted to have powerful hit and block effects. Excluding combos with Hawkbaker, he can now spend 2 bars of stamina to extend combos even from mid-screen. They're keeping him in line with a lot of the options and the overall design philosophy of the game with meterless damage. But he's using his system mechanics to get the damage, so it makes sense for the subsystem. 6P increased recovery, thank you. Far slash increased recovery, thank you. 2S increased recovery, thank you. Stamina increased cooldown time. Standardized recovery speed regardless of current stamina, fair. Beat driver follow-up, increased recovery, increased knockback. Beat driver follow-up, H heavy slicer and beat driver, right. So increased recovery, increased knockback, added guard crush effect. Damn it. Increased horizontal movement speed, adjusted to maintain momentum on cancel. Once again, damn it. Hawkbaker DP, the start of the attack can no longer be canceled overdrives. That's a bug. Hawkbaker follow-up. Decreased recovery, increased damage, horizontal movement speed, buff. Blowback now sends opponent directly above when the first of the combo was any move other than Hawkbaker. This makes it easier to land additional attacks. Okay. Hoof Stomp. Oh boy. Increased recovery, decreased knockback on head. Elcon follow up. Increased recovery, increased damage. I can just change damage state, increase horizontal blowback and launch height. That's fine. Increased guard stun duration. So I think it was like +2 or something like that before on the guard crush, or it's hoof stomp, one or the other. But I mean, I think the guard crush situations are normally like +5 or so, so maybe it's like +6 or 7, whatever. It's fine. Let him get his. I say let him get his rocks off, especially if he's burning his like calorie gauge and stuff like that. Whatever. Gazelle Step, 214K cannot be performed individually other than a follow-up. It expends. It uses stamina when performed individually rather than as a follow-up. Oh. It expends stamina when performed individually rather than used as a follow-up? Wow, so Gazelle Step's not free. Bravo, Arxis. You guys thought this through. Okay. I ain't saying it's perfect, but that was smart. Yeah, definitely a good start so far. Ride the Lightning now expends stamina when performed as a cancel out of the startup of his follow-ups. Thank you. Increased minimum guaranteed damage. Okay. Tyrant Barrel now expends stamina when performed as a cancel. Oh my god. So they made it so he's forced to spend stamina gauge on all his cancels. Whoever was in charge of this patch, they were really thinking about this game and how to make it fun. Not gonna lie. Bedman. Wow, I'm impressed. As certain strings were extremely good at keeping the opponent locked down as well as difficult to escape from, we've made adjustments to its lockdown potential. In exchange, Bedman has new options available in neutral. The guard crush duration after charged and fully charged call for B9 has been decreased. The same applies to the attack triggered by error 6E. The This makes it more challenging to continually force the opponent to block the charged version of strings. Thank you! However, the projectile generated by Error 6E now homes in on the opponent's horizontal position to an extent. That's fine. This can function as a poke when returning to neutral after the opponent blocks 4B9 mid-screen. Call 13C has less recovery, making it more viable as it can be used as more in more. You can use it more in strings. That's fine. Previously, Bedman was just like guard crush the character, which I think it was really boring when I watched him. Not to say Bedman was like broken or anything like that. It was just like when he finally did get to do pressure, it was like, all right, you do your overcharge or your overheat, whatever. You know, you get your buffed version of the move and you just kind of keep spamming. It's like not entertaining. But let's see, 6P, slightly shrunk lower hitbox, standing H, increased knockback, increased launch height after ground bounce on counter hit. That's cool. 2 and 4P, increased damage of Error 6E. Okay, 4B3, same as, yeah, this is fine, same stuff. There's, the majority of the stuff just affects the guard crush. Just reading through it, kind of speed reading through it. I mean, he still gets guard crush, but like it's just, you know, decreased guard crush duration of the charge version, decreased guard. So you still get it. It's just not. It's not as crazy. So that's fine. Seems more improved. He probably has. That's more quality of life than anything else, but I think it's okay. It seems like a nerf because it's like the guard crush stuff, but it's like you want the opponent to be able to swing at the character so it can actually do damage, as opposed to like, okay, you just keep blocking and keep blocking until eventually you burn your YRC to get them off you and then you play the game again. So this is a bit better of a trade-off in terms of his offense, so I think it's okay. Asuka or Cruz. Some of Asuka's spells have been toned down to make it less common for him to be able to continually fire spells for an extended period of time. On the other hand, infrequently utilized spells have been improved to open up various strategies for him. Thank you. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what half of these spells are because I didn't really play when he came out. But we're just gonna say, I'm just gonna skip through everything that Arceus has here because I don't know any of what the spells are. I know them by color, and that's all I know. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That part, that's gone over my head. I'm gonna have to probably do like research and make like a OneNote and figure out what to do or what these things are, and then I'd have more of a thing to be able to say for it. But we're gonna skip past that part. Let's see here. Bookmark full order. Increased time duration for swapping spells. Inputting left or right during this move swap will swap the test case. Increased mana depletion, which is fair. The mana depletion now steadily increases as time passes. Now reduce mana cost while reduce mana cost effect. That's fine. Basically, when it's where you can swap the cards, the super didn't last that long, but you can tell the type of cards you wanted to get by the color. So, or at least that's what I heard, right? So that's what Gobo was doing, and some of the other Asuka players at the high level, that's what they were doing. They were looking for colors, not looking at the card itself, just the color, because the cards are color coded. So it's good. It drains the mana gauge while the longer you take to get it done and figure out what you want. So I think that's fair. Recover mana, increase mana recovery state, decrease effect duration. The effect duration now continues counting down during hit stop. It's fine. Mana continues. Okay, this is fine. Mana instant recovery. These are probably all the cards. And I'm gonna skip all this because it's all just card stuff, and I'm not familiar with a lot of the card things. So I apologize, you guys, looking for more stuff from me from Asuka. I skipped season 3. Sorry. Johnny. Due to the major adjustments made in the previous July balance update, Johnny has not received as many changes. Miss Finer can now negate projectiles, which should have just been a thing, honestly. Although it's an uncommon situation for the slash hit a projectile, this adds potential countermeasures against characters with projectiles, so he'll have an easier time fighting Faust, for example. 6P, increased recovery. Miss Finer negates projectiles, and Insinga got increased damage, so that's nice. This character definitely shocked me. For those of you that know me very well, in the X-Red scene, I was not a fan of Elphelt at all. I hated this character expeditiously. But Elphelt and Strive has been one of the cooler designs as far as I'm concerned, so bravo to Arceus on that one. I have videos, a couple videos where I was playing her and I was having like a blast. So I do believe she was on the weaker side. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what they got here. While Elphelt is still an approachable character with simpler traits, this adjustment focuses on increasing her offensive options. Here I Go can now be canceled into a dash when the attack connects. This makes it versatile, useful in combos, strings, and other situations. Nailed It now has a wall bounce, leading to more options for Okizeme in the corner. Bombonier, which was utilized frequently, had a major change to its properties. It can now be used in combos with certain moves, such as standing H and Bomb Chocolat. I almost read that as Bumbaclat, excuse me. Setting off the bomb rather than Bumbaclat. Oh my gosh. Only view the time duration. The bomb no longer disappears after wall break. They did show that off in the video, making a situation where Elphelt triggers wall break after bomb and ear incredibly advantageous. Elphelt isn't. I feel like they wanted to make her easy, but at the same time adding a layer of depth for her. So I think this is good. 6P increased active frames, increased recovery. Her 6P was not that great in my opinion. 6H increased damage. Bumbaclot, decrease horizontal blowback, increase launch height, decrease in falling speed. Here I Go can be dash canceled on contact with the opponent, makes sense. Nailed It, increased damage. Bombonier, where she takes the grenades and she slaps it on you. She holds on to her she holds on to the bombs on the wall break. Let's see here. They added some other stuff. They changed it to a strike attack. I think it was a command grab at first. It's been a minute. Made adjustments to overall hit effect, distance after hit, time until explosion, in line with this change. Remove throw invincibility as the move is now a strike attack. Yeah, it used to be a throw. The strike part of the attack now triggers wall break, with the bomb remaining attached after the area shift. Nice. It now explodes immediately when certain attacks hit, such as standing H and Bumbaclot. That's tight. Her Wild Assault is now changed to a red Wild Assault. I think she had a blue one at first. So she's all right. So they gave her a more offensive rushdown one. My girl Abba, the only other actual Guilty Gear character in the game. They were coming to the end. I think after Abba, I think it's Slayer, I believe. But I think this is second to last. So Abba. The adjustments add greater contrast in her kit by maintaining her explosive power during Jealous Rage and toning down her standard state. Standard state, she now halts right away after a back input mid-dash, making it harder to close distance while blocking. Intertwine and Tilt has more recovery with changes made to the blowback on counter hit. Ab is more likely to lose her turn when it is blocked and less likely to get a combo on counter hit. Fair. Jealous Rage, the blowback for Judgment and Sentiment has been adjusted, making it possible to follow up on grounded counter hit. And now offers a greater reward on counter hit as it's slow to fully come out and costs a larger amount of the jealousy gauge. Fair. Her dash, she can do it kind of like, you can dash block essentially and cut the dash short. 6P has increased recovery. She did have a pretty strong 6P. 6P and Jealous Rage, increased recovery. Intertwine and Tilt, increased recovery, decreased knockback, launch height higher on counter hit. That's the jump kick, if you will, which is on the key. 214S, fix an issue causing certain moves to hit. It's just a bug fix. Or DP. Danzai, increased damage on the second hit. Change damage on ground hit. The first hit to be the same as soul special. Okay, that's fine. See, it's Danzai. I mean, it's a DP. Law is law. What is this? Law is key. Key is king. Jealousy Rage. Yeah, has to go back forward. Increased damage of the final hit. The damage of the final hit increases more corresponding to the amount of remaining jealousy gauge. That's fine. That's where you cash out. No, that's fine. All right, I think this is the last guy. It's Slayer. All right, this guy's been beating people up. Hopefully, I do hope that's kind of true, to be honest with you. So let's see here. Some of his moves that were highly rewarding yet easy to connect have been toned down. He had high defense relative to his explosive power. We've decreased his guts rating, which effectively decreases his health. Thank you. In exchange, his moves that were challenging to use properly have become more versatile. Damn it. Increase the recovery of Mappa Hunt's P version. Thank you. This makes it easier for Slayer to lose his turn when the opponent blocks it and he ends up at close range. Probably can instant block it and throw him if that's the case. Super Mappa Hunch no longer has invincibility on startup, instead gaining invincibility partway through the move. This is how it was in previous Guilty Gears. I'm not sure why they gave it full invincibility. While it can no longer be used as an invincible reversal, it works well as a counter poke against opponents from a long range. And that's what it was in Accent Core. So, good job, Arxis. Let's see here. He now moves faster at the start of his backdash. The later half now moves more slowly. The total distance travel remains unchanged, but it's easier to avoid attacks from the opponent when canceling Hand of Doom. Talked about his backdash. 6P has increased recovery. 6K decreased recovery of the charged version. Far slash blowback adjustment. On aerial hit, the first hit blowback sends the opponent below. On aerial hit, the first hit has a ground bounce. Crouching heavy, increased recovery. JD, increased active frames. Not sure why they touched this move. It's not that great. Mappa Hunch, decreased recovery, increased knockback. Okay. Increased launch height on counter hit, I guess. Pop Bunker, increased damage. Of course, you'd increase Pop Bunker damage. What a joke. Come on, Arxis. Come on, man. He's been deleting people. This character's been deleting Pop Bunker for years. Come on. This to me is kind of a joke, like low-key. But Super Mappa removes strike and throw invincibility on startup, added strike and throw invincibility midway through the attack. And Last Horizon, increase input priority. That's everybody. It's a bit of a long video here, I ain't gonna lie. But my final thoughts after reading all this out over the last 2 hours, if you're still here, cool. If you skip through the timestamps, good on you. But I can say right now, Season 4 Guilty Gear Strive looks and sounds like Guilty Gear on paper. This sounds like a way better game. How much of that is the case remains to be seen, but this is a step in the right direction where I think that they are in a position where they can make the future of this game better. So I'm happy to hear that. Actually, I'm not even happy to hear that. I'm happy to even say that out loud. Holy shit. Because I've definitely been, Season 3 pretty much turned me off. White Wall Assault made me really upset, amongst other things. So saying that the game got this far after a bad season, in my opinion, I don't think Season 3 was that great. This season sounds like it's going to be something way better. So I'm willing to give it a try, see what's going on. So yes, you guys will be seeing some more Guilty Gear Strive on the channel. It is gonna, I will revive it here on the channel, starting with the Dizzy, and now this. So we'll see where it goes. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a fair shake, and we'll see how it goes. Again, I know this was a long video, so if you stuck with me till the end, cool. If not, use your timestamps. Once again, it's cool. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the changes in the comments below. Talk to me. Let me know how you feel about Season 4. And I'm going to get up out of here on this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. You know what time it is. Deuces, gooses.